Hey guys, my name is TheRussianBadger, and I don't know what happened. I truly and honestly do not know what happened. I was driving that tank. I was going max 5 to 10 miles per hour, and just skadoosh. That guy went like 20 to 40 feet in the air. I don't know what happened, but I found that quite humorous. I'm sure you did as well. And look at this right here. You ready? 1 clean burst, 2 clean bursts, and he's dead. I fired a 3rd burst. You can call me inaccurate, but that's just for safety, just in case he survives those first 2. Maybe he has body armor on. But as you can see here, playing with the M16 on Harvest Day, and I'm going to be talking about spotting, playing conservatively, and overall being a spawn point in today's gameplay. Obviously, I'm going to cover the gameplay as well. I'm not one of those guys that say, yeah, herp-de-derp, today I'm not going to talk about the gameplay. It's like, you guys come here for the gameplay. That's what you arrive here to see. I'm not going to discuss some other topic. I'm going to discuss some kind of topic that's relevant to what you're seeing in front of you and something that you can really learn from or gain some kind of, or extract some kind of knowledge from. Now, as a spawn point, or I'm going to call it playing conservatively, okay? And playing conservatively implies that the main purpose of your entire role in your squad and your team is stay alive. That's the golden rule, the cardinal rule that I always think of when I think of playing conservatively or being the spawn point. Actually, I'll just call it spawn point, okay? Spawn point is the style of play that I'm displaying for you right now. Basically, staying alive is cardinal rule. And you'll see at the end of the game, I basically minimize my deaths, and that's something that you want to do. But as you can see here, there's not a whole lot of enemies in this area because I've already pushed them back. I've killed quite a few of them, a significant amount at least, and there's nobody in the area, so I know that I can move up. And you want to be progressively doing that at the spawn point. You don't want to be stationary in one specific location as a spawn point. At least not for too long, because if you stay in one specific stationary location for too long, obviously your position is going to be compromised because everybody knows exactly where you are. If you stay in the same place, odds are you're going to die. Not to mention you constantly want to be gaining enemy territory and gaining ground towards them and keep pushing them back into their spawn. And here there was a little bit of a mishap. I thought my teammates on the left-hand side to the left of me had a better view of B and could shoot anybody that was defusing B. But someone actually did use their cat-like cloak and dagger reflexes and somehow got all the way around and defused it, which I was sort of unhappy about, but you know what? Our team has such a great enemy presence currently, it's not going to be a huge, real barrier to what we have planned, and that's something else that I want to identify for you. Just because you're a spawn point does not mean that you don't arm objectives. Sure, there are players that are just straight crate rushers. All they do is they just rush crates and they arm constantly. They're the ones physically arming the charges. But just because you're playing the spawn point role, not the crate rushing role, doesn't mean that you don't arm objectives. If there's no enemy presence around an objective and you're right beside it, why not arm it? Just go ahead and arm it. I don't care if you're a medic, recon, engineer, or assault, just arm it. It's so much simpler. And here, it's sort of a period of relative stagnancy because for some reason they were trying to flank us way around and then come up from behind, and somehow that plan was absolutely awful and did not work correctly at all. And I'm also trying to make sure that you know that the spawn point and the crate rushing role, I mean, there's more roles than this, but it's not black and white. Like, crate rushers don't only just go in and arm objectives, and as I previously said, even if you're a spawn point, you can still arm objectives. It's not like you're higher level and you're like, oh, I don't ever arm objectives, I just sit here and get kills. That's not really what it's about. And I'm also not trying to say that this crate rushing versus spawn point is this totally infinite concept that's just, it's so complex, it's so advanced, it's so difficult to understand. It's not at all. And I'm not trying to say, like, this is chess, not checkers, I'm Denzel Washington in Training Day. I'm not trying to say anything like that, because the whole concept of being a crate rusher versus being a spawn point is not real complex. I mean, it has certain aspects to it that should be understood, but it's not, this is so difficult, this is only for scholarly men who have advanced degrees from large universities. Not like that at all. It's a fairly simple concept, but you just have to learn some of the major aspects that make it successful. And even here, I know some of the routes on Harvest Day quite well. I usually take the right side, and there is going to be a little bit of fast forwarding here. I do hate to do that to you, but it's kind of necessary. And I saw somebody sneak into this building here, and that's one thing that you really want. You want to eliminate anybody that you know that's lurking in buildings, so I come all the way around over here. I sneak into this building like Cloak and Dagger Ninja, and give me your sandwich. Oh man. totally unaware. That made my day. But I'm gonna sneak in here. See, even as a spawn point, you can. If you're the first one there and there's nobody around, just arm it. I don't care if you're a spawn point or bush monster that just has like a 4x scope and a 50 cal. It doesn't matter. If there's no enemies around, just arm the objective. That should be pretty self-explanatory. But the other con and the other disadvantage to this whole setup that I have here is I'm all alone by myself because. And obviously I get taken out here, but you know what's the best part? After he takes me out, he runs away from the objective. What are you doing, you silly catfish? I don't know what he's doing. I am truly puzzled as to what he was doing. But you know what? It works out in my favor because the objective explodes. And yay, we all get glory forever. And yet again, thank you for starting your jackhammer concrete removal in the middle of my commentary, university staff. That's just wonderful. But here, you're going to see the most asinine moment probably in the history of my life when it comes to knives. Look, he misses once, he misses twice. I don't know how he did not shoot me there, but give me your sandwich, please, with a side of maybe a chicken sandwich and some waffle fries for free. I'm in a Dr. Pepper. I'm not going to go into that, but here I tried to sneak up on these guys because I thought they would be in the farther part of the attic, but there's going to be these lurking attic monsters that just like to sit around and not go defuse objectives. So I'll show you exactly what I do to attic monsters. You ready? It's not a Wesley Snipes, but definitely that was a good shot. You can admit it, that was a good shot. And it's not like I'm just spamming my 40mm grenade launcher either. That's a precise shot, and I got the arc down, and I'm by no means trying to brag. A lot of you think that I brag about my gameplay, which I try to do. I try don't, or to not to. I tried don't. I don't graduate from high school because my name's TheRussianBadger. I'm sorry. Sometimes my words just get caught up, and if you guys did commentaries, you would understand how difficult. Sometimes I just make up words like botan. I have said botan in previous commentaries, but sometimes your tongue just gets the best of you, and it just. Sometimes my tongue gets my sandwich, if I could say that bluntly, and. I don't know what you're doing, Carl. I don't know what you're doing. And I hate to call people Carl now because apparently I have a few subscribers named Carl, so they probably feel extremely bad when I actually say this. Like, oh, all this. I don't really have contrition that I'm calling somebody Carl, but you guys know that Carl, the Carl that I'm talking about, is not anybody not anybody specific. It's not like there's one person named Carl that I'm making fun of bluntly that's one of my subscribers. That's not the way it works. But it was relatively uneventful for this last set. Once we armed B, for some reason they just didn't try to defuse any of them. And something else that is very, very important here is this hill. This hill on my right hand side, very, very important. And you're gonna see if they flank you on that far side, that's what happens. Like, well, and by that's what happens, I'll describe to you exactly what I mean. If somebody flanks you on this side, and here this recon, I didn't really get my aim down right there, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the locations, because he's probably expecting me to be there. So I change locations, I come all the way around, and I get the best of him. And that hill, a lot of people lurk on that hill, but there's one thing about the hill that I want to identify that I previously mentioned is do not let them flank you. Do not ever let them flank you, because if they flank you, I mean, it's not exactly the worst map to get flanked on. I mean, Oasis is pretty bad to get flanked on, and in general, it's also bad to get flanked because when you get flanked, especially on maps like Harvest Day, that's how you get those mass death, 9-man knife streaks going on. That's what happens, and I'll identify exactly what I mean to you in just a few seconds here. I'm going to come up here in the building. I'm going to get one guy. I'm going to try to get a second, but he sneaks away because I get hit with a sniper shot here. I try to go away because I don't want to get hit by the sniper. And this slimy catfish trickster gets all the way around. I couldn't quite get him because he was through the trees. My view was kind of obstructed, so I go all the way back and I wait. And I wait, and I wait, and I wait. And I wait till I hear him. I could hear him. I believe he threw out like some kind of ammo pack, or I think he reloaded or something. But he said some kind of noise like ammo, but it was a dead giveaway. Whatever the sound or the audible cue or the audio cue actually was, I picked up on it with my wonderful set of headphones, and I took them out. Because really, if somebody flanks you, like I said, that's how you really get your tickets just absolutely eaten away. Where people have those easy kills on you where they're just coming up from behind, those are detrimental to your tickets. And the other thing is, although I'm taking off some people here, I really want to pick off any of these catfish that are at the top of the hill, because this is really a region where a lot of my teammates move up from. So if I can prevent any of the deaths of my teammates, especially on this hill directly up here, it'll be greatly helpful to my team, if you will. And I'm actually going to flank this right side here, and I think most of you probably know this route, but if you don't know this route, it can be very, very effective. And it's just running up this little rock face on the right hand side, and it can be quite wonderful if you ask me. And yet again, they're just trying to flank all the way back. I don't know if they really dreamt of having one of those massive knife streaks or what it was, but they continue to do that. That's the rock face that I was talking about, and I didn't have quite the best view of B. And obviously, as you can see, and this is one thing that I do want to identify, as I get this bush monster, or should I say attic monster, lurking around. Well, if all the walls are blown out of an attic, does it still make it an attic? I don't really know, but a lot of you have been asking, and some of you complaining about spotting for me, and oftentimes my general rule is I spot when I can, but you know what? Most of the people that I see, I kill. I think most of you guys have identified that and know that. But in my personal opinion, see, I just spotted 2 people there. You see that? Perfect. There's a prime example. If there's smoke, or if I know they have the ability to get away or get to cover or go to a place where I cannot see them, I spot them. But if I know that I can easily take them out, like easily, I'm going to hit you right in the face whether you're here or there. Like here, he's not going to go anywhere. I can easily kill him, so I don't need to spot him. He's not going anywhere. There's no cover around him because he's on the flatland. He's not threatening, or he's not threatening that he will go to another location where I can't see him. And yet again here, this building is extremely great for being a lurking catfish and just sitting here and essentially camping on the objective. And there's nothing wrong with camping on the objective if you already have it set. And this building is absolutely perfect for it. This window is absolutely perfect for it. And I try to get Whistly sniped by a medic, and I say, I don't think I like broccoli. I don't think so. And I get one last guy on the objective, and I believe it explodes. Yes, that is the end of it. And there you have it. That's the end of the game. And it's so great to be on a team that's not absolutely awful. Like, most of the time, I'm just, was machst du da? Hilf mir! Ich brauche Hilfe! Mach schnell! And finally, I get a team that is actually decent and actually cooperates moderately. So it's a big step up from an awful team, but other than that, guys, I want to thank you very, very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Auf Wiedersehen, bis bald, guten Tag und gute Nacht.